Baseball, there's a polar bear sighting in Baltimore. Pete Alonso is a bird. Mets, what is we doing, baby?
Don't play.
Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek, Talkin 10. Jake Storielli, back in the big city. You can hear the winter meetings in my voice. I think I joined the Padres front office last night.
Oh, no.
Yes. So that's just an FYI for everyone. More importantly, off the plane, get in my apartment, lay down. Forgot I left it messy, which is just an awful feeling before you travel. Such a disaster. And then I find out that Pete Alonso, Pete the Meat, 5 years, 155 with some escalators in there that can go up to 185 to the Baltimore Orioles. The career leader in Mets home runs is leaving and heading down south and joining the AL. Trev, how you doing?
It was me. It was black beans, rice, chicken, jalapenos, having a nice meal.
Yeah.
And I just finished up baseball today, got the news, and I was talking about just this very scenario with Chris Rose, and now here I am chopping it up with you. I'm very curious about the Padres front office. Are the Cardinals mad? I guess we'll get into that later. Yeah. Pete Alonso snaps, baby. What did we say? We said Kyle Schwarber set his market. 5 years, 150. Pete says, hey, that's cool. I'll take that plus $5 million because I play first base. And that's what he got. 5 years, 155 from the Orioles. Elias came out and did an interview and said, we have money to spend. And he put it out there. He put that thing on the table. And I said, well, you put that thing on the table, you better use it. And he did. This is so big for the Orioles. I feel like you have a nice nucleus of talent there that kind of underperformed last year. And now you get about as tried and true a hitter as you can get in the middle of your order. Exactly where you need one. They needed some thump right there. They get it. I don't think they're done. You don't make a move like this without making another move. And they're right back in contention in the AL East where they're at the doormat last year. Just like that from one signing. I love it for them. I love it for Pete too.
Pete Alonso, 264 career home runs. That's third behind Judge and Schwarber since making his debut in 2019. Like you said, I mean, tried and true power hitter. He's only played 10 games at Camden, but he's got a 1.0 OPS there. He's played 1,008 out of a possible 1,032 games going back to his rookie year. I feel vindicated. It blew my mind how his free agency went last year, and now Pete cleans up, and the Orioles have entered the chat, dude. We've been talking about these kind of wild card teams that we assumed had budgets. I mean, the Orioles, I didn't even lump them in with like the Cubs and the Red Sox because we know they have budgets. We've heard the Orioles talk about it, but they hadn't done it. Now they've done it, dude. And Trev, one of the transactions that, I don't know, was just kind of like, hey, baseball offseason is happening. Taylor Ward for Grayson Rodriguez, which we were like, okay, that's a weird trade. Trev, go look at that Baltimore lineup right now.
I am.
We are left, righty, switch. Taylor Ward with his 30-plus home runs coming to you from, like, the 6-hole. Right now, Tyler O'Neill's listed on the bench for them. Like, the Orioles lineup. And this is why I was so frustrated with Pete's free agency, because he can change the whole tenor of your lineup because you're basically looking at 35 homers, worst-case scenario.
I'm looking at the lineup, and I am a liking. And there's other rumors out there about them wanting to go get a front-end starting pitcher. We just did this on Baseball Today, talking about who do they dance well with. Was it the Miami Marlins? God, I just blanked right there. Last year, they get Trevor Rogers, send Stowers down there. They are both very happy at the end of the year with that trade. They have a Kobe Mayo. They have a Westberg, which is exactly what a team like the Marlins need. The Marlins have Edward Cabrera. These talks, they said they're like beginning to get into advanced stages. You throw in Edward Cabrera, and now you got him. You got Rogers. You got Bradish. You got this lineup, and we're like, okay. Like, this is what we expected after 2023 when they won 100 and something games. This is the trajectory they should be on. Last year, terrible, went backwards, and I'm happy the front office wasn't going to let that continue. It's just a little hiccup now, or so we assume. Obviously, you got to play the 2026 season, but right now they're looking so much better. And like I mentioned, just immediately back into, where do you rank them in the AL East right now, especially if they get that Edward Cabrera trade done?
Yeah, I'm not going to give them Edward Cabrera yet just because other teams need to do that. I think they're going to add a starting pitcher, and we'll see who that is. I mean, they could, in theory, add a couple pitchers still. But what Trevor Rogers did when he performed in his 18 starts last year was special. Kyle was being bratish by the end of last year. And that's the thing, man. I was talking to give a guy some love. John Mioli, Orioles beat writer. Me and him went to a leadership conference in Connecticut when we were sophomores in high school. Sang Afternoon Delight. Sang Afternoon Delight on stage. We were like the two hunks there. He covers the Birds. He was excited, man. He's like, dude, they're going to do something, and Pete Alonso's going to be what they do. And where does it stop, Trev? Like, hey, man, I mean, you're talking, okay, I just turned them down for Edward Cabrera. What if Scooble's actually on the table, and what price tags are they looking for? And, like, how different could the Orioles look? No rumors, no smoke, no fire there. But the Orioles can still do a lot of work. And in the AL East, man, I picked them to win the AL East last year. They had such an atrocious start that they couldn't dig themselves out. When they hired their interim manager, they played above 500 baseball, which in the expanded wild card is a playoff team. But they got off to such a horrendous start. Gunnar had a slightly weird year. Adley, there are going to be a lot of eyes on you this year, Papo. And I wouldn't bet against them, man, that I think the Birds are here.
Call me in, Coach. He's not good on fastballs. Last 2 years, I got you. I fixed Gary Sanchez. I can do it for another AL East team. Okay, how about that? I had something I was going to go to. I totally blanked on it. Go back to what you were saying.
Orioles.
Adley Rushman.
Connecticut Leadership Conference.
Connecticut Leadership. No.
Pitching. Scooble. You didn't like that.
Oh, that's exactly what I was going. Okay.
Yeah.
At first, I'm like, there's no way they can do that. Like, the asking price is going to be extremely high. They just did it. They went out and got Corbin Burns for a year. They didn't end up re-signing him, but they just did this exact same thing. One of the best pitchers in all of baseball. They went out and got in his walk year.
Yeah.
If they do that again, oh, man. That's look, we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit here. I'm very happy for the Orioles and Pete Alonso, and I think it's a perfect fit for their lineup, for their clubhouse, and Pete doesn't care where he's hitting the ball. He's going to hit homers no matter where he is. So damned if the wall's in or out. Snaps, man. This is a massive first step for them in this offseason.
Yeah, and again, sometimes me and Trevor borderline dumb. I'll just say that. I know some people don't like that word, but we talked about the Orioles lineup. This is how it's currently listed on Fangraphs, and obviously you can jumble things up, but Jackson Holliday, lefty. Jordan Westberg at third, righty. Gunnar Henderson, lefty. Pete Alonso, righty. Adley, switch. Taylor Ward, righty. Dylan Beavers, lefty. Colton Cowser, lefty. Samuel Basayo, lefty. With a bench of Ryan Mountcastle, who's hit a lot in this league. Jeremiah Jackson, who put up some numbers last year. And then Tyler O'Neill is listed on the bench with Leodis Tavares. So they can left-right you right now. Like, if they're finished with their offensive offseason, they're set up. It's almost how do we get guys in the lineup, which, again, that's a good problem to have. That, they're going to add another starting pitcher, and it's going to be interesting to see, are they going to go innings eater or something that makes us jump back on the mics again? Because, dude, if they add a Mackenzie Gore, I guess I'll add Edward Cabrera. Like, if they had an impact starting pitcher, right now I don't think we're looking at the Birds and we're like, whoa, like World Series back on. If they're one move away from us being like, they're back.
A pitcher and a lineup producing the way that they can produce.
Yes.
Some of these guys have to step up. Holiday needs to kind of become the guy they think he can become. Adley needs to start hitting fastballs again. Basayo needs to be. I mean, he's 21 years old. It's ridiculous. Right. But like they truly believe in the hit tool with him. So you got to get the most out of these guys. And that's what I always say. Like, you're going to have your guys. That's why they get paid the big bucks. They're going to give you production. But the guys that, not the fringe players, I don't want to call them that, but the guys like a Basayo, the young guys, like if they step up and they have their years, that's when you get these magical runs. Man, I love it for them. I truly do. And you know who I hate it for?
Who's that?
The New York Mets, who are just losing players. And they ain't adding.
Guys, no real ads on this episode. One, go buy some merch from our store. We got our new Slash Line collection.
And it's
go
Christmas,
check it out.
right?
Christmas is coming up. Buy a gift or something. The holidays, we'll say.
Okay, great.
So go check that out. That's an easy way to support us and something to wear if you wear clothes. I know a portion of our audience, specifically my audience, doesn't. But if you're part of the clothes-wearing audience, go check that out. And go check out our warehouse games. We got our Blitzball Battle tournament going right now. Just had some of the best games in our history. It's Blitzball Battle 7. Go check it out. If you haven't given it a chance, it's worthwhile. Trev, the New York Mets. Edwin Diaz, little voice crack. Edwin Diaz. I don't think we talked enough about how it was $3 million was the difference.
Well, we didn't know at the time.
Right. The Mets final offer and the Dodgers final offer, which, again, who knows what's actually going on? Like, maybe it was one of those things they kept bidding each other up, and the Mets are like, well, if the Dodgers are just going to keep going and Edwin wants to go there, we're not actually involved. Then maybe they drew the line in the sand. Who knows what happens there? But the Mets have just seen them lose their star closer in a tough bullpen situation where he was the only guy, kind of. And then Pete Alonso, the most home runs ever hit by a New York Met.
I do think for Pete Alonso, it was like, I got the deal I want in front of me, sign.
Yeah.
Like I think he would have went anywhere. I don't think he's like, I need to go to Baltimore. And that's no shots fired at Baltimore. I think after last year not getting what he wanted, this year saying, hey, it's right in front of me. All I got to do is say yes, in. Didn't want to take the chance again of something falling out and happening. So I think that's what happened there. The Edwin Diaz situation, I don't believe they got like the last chance to match. Like Middleton and the Phillies and Dombrowski, they got the last chance to match with Schwarber. I don't think Diaz gave them that option. In fact, even if they did get to match, I don't think he goes back there. I think he sees this. What's going on in Los Angeles? He's like, I want to be part of that. And you can fault him for that. You can say, you just want to join in ring chase. Yeah. Yeah. If you're going to get paid that type of money and get to play on that team in a market that's much more manageable. It's a big market.
You might be the last guy on the mound, bro.
And I've said this about the New York media before, and people don't like it, but it's the truth, okay? Like, did he go there just to avoid the New York media? No. Is it a factor? And he's done it. He's gotten ripped by them, but also is beloved by the media. And when you're beloved, it's great. But when you get ripped, it stinks. It stinks. So you go to L.A., you get the market that you want. Okay? It's big. They don't rip you to pieces out here. They just don't.
Right.
Like it's a different type of media landscape. And I said this on Baseball Today. If the media would just get out of their own way, it's almost like the facial hair policy. Does it really matter? No. But it's mattered. And I don't know what I'm trying to say with that. All I'm saying is the Mets are losing players. Nimmo, fan favorite, gone. Pete Alonso, could have been a statue guy, gone. Edwin Diaz in the trumpet song, gone. And who have they added? Devin Williams.
They've added Devin.
Your guy.
Yeah, I said congratulated Devin Williams on his contract last night. Me and him might have to bury the hatchet another time. I think he might have seen some of our Talkin' Yanks posts from this year, and maybe he didn't love that.
Yeah, me and Dev are tight, though.
And I would probably feel the same exact way, so I get it.
Oh, are you part of the media I was just scolding? Yes.
Yes, yes. I am New York media. Man, where are the Mets going to pivot? And dude, this is okay. I think people unfortunately can hear my voice, but they can also they can feel my energy. What the fuck was that? Is this a boy band? Is this a boy band song? I know you hear my voice, but you feel my energy. Dude, this is the domino falling out of place. We didn't know if Baltimore was going to be in the mix. For what? Like maybe a big pitcher we were dreaming, but we haven't seen them done this. Now they've done this. The Mets need to do something. Is that Bregman? And now, like, where are the Red Sox in this food chain? Because they were a big Alonso rumored team. So are they back to Bregman? Like, the New York Mets, where are they going to go? Because the biggest free agent out there is Kyle Tucker. So are they just going to sign another left-handed corner outfielder to a $400 million plus contract? Like, where are the Mets going?
I watched David Stearns talk about this, and he said all the right things, but like I said to Chris, like he's not feeling the fan base right now, who are super frustrated. You know, great, you got this owner who's willing to spend money, and you're in a much better position as an organization than you were 5 years ago with the previous ownership. Farm system, good, awesome, that's great, but you collapsed last year. You did, and now you're losing players like flies. It's a weird spot to be in, so you really need to understand the pulse of the fan base. Now, you don't need to make decisions based on that necessarily, but it should influence the way that you go about your business and talk in front of cameras. He really wasn't doing a good job doing that. But yeah, I mean, I think they have to. We gave them shit before 2024 about their starting pitching, and it blew up in our face because they ended up figuring it out. And then last year we kind of gave them the benefit of the doubt, and it didn't work, their starting pitching. So I think like that's an area. They got these young guys that have come up. That's great. I think you need a stalwart in the rotation to really help out there. So I think that's where you got to go, and that's going to be, I think, what will anchor you best. You know, besides, I think it's better than going out and getting a Kyle Tucker for the reasons kind of you just mentioned right there, having a lot of money tied up in that outfield, but still not being sure about your starting pitching. That's where you got to go. You got to go do something there.
Yeah, I wonder. Maybe this sounds dumb. I've used it twice. Go check out the weekly dumb third JM ad. The Mets rotation would actually look beautiful with like a true one or two added to it.
Yes.
Like obviously Scooble, and again, that I don't think that should sound as obvious as it does, but like the Mets right now have McClain, who was awesome last year, Peterson, Holmes, Minaya, Senga. If you push them all down, and we can't just keep putting Scooble on every team because I personally don't think he's going to be traded, although if the Mets are starting to get desperate, they've got young talent that if you put Scooble at the top of that rotation, it actually looks like one of the best in baseball. Maybe the name that's more realistic, Mackenzie Gore, dude. If they could trade Ronnie Mauricio, a Brett Beatty, Jonah Tong, bring in someone like that, the rotation then looks good. So then you have the bullpen. But, dude, the lineup still needs a lot of work that I don't know where they go.
I'm that was.
Did you
awesome
see that?
Right there. That was good.
Did you see that?
Nice.
Did I catch that? Yeah.
I am looking more toward. I love Mackenzie Gore, and there are times where he looks like that bona fide ace. I am looking. That's what I'm talking about for the Mets is top of the rotation. It is a Terry Scooble. It is a Hunter Green, something like that. If you want to go out there and play that game, they do have the young guys, and I'm down for that. They've looked good. Jonah Tong's looked great. Nolan McClain has looked great. You know I love me some Minaya. Senga's back. Okay, great. You need the horse. You need the horse. And you also need some back end of the bullpen help now as well. I don't think Devin Williams, as good as he can be, I think you need to figure that aspect as well. I would go pitching heavy if I was the Mets and then figure out the rest. And they do have the pieces to make trades, so it doesn't necessarily have to be on the free agent market. So they have a lot of options still, but the longer you wait, the more you're going to see guys come off the board that can help your team. So I think they have to act pretty quickly.
I mean, going back to Stearns' past, and it doesn't always work like this, but Freddie Peralta and McGill are supposedly on the block. Like, hello, there's your one. There's your potential closer that makes all the pitching feel better instantly. But I guess where I'm getting caught up, and again, like there's a lot of offseason left to go, but my goodness, you just lost your ninth inning rock last year, your first base power rock from
I'm
last
looking
year.
at the lineup right now, Coach. I'm looking and not liking.
Trev, I mean,
They got
so
holes, Pop.
Passan tweeted it out that he's like, the Orioles have an argument for the best lineup in baseball right now, which, hey, let's see where the rest of the offseason lands. And like you said, a couple of those young guys, if they pop, yes, but sometimes young guys don't pop. Often they don't pop. The Mets right now, the Lindor, Simeon, Soto, Vientos, McNeil, Alvarez, Beatty, Mauricio, Taylor. If I'm being 100 with the people, hashtag, Lindor, absolutely. Soto, absolutely. After that, like Alvarez for a hitting young catcher, like sure, you're not going to do much better than that. But it's a maybe. But for like the catching position, sure, check the box. After that, like, hey, Simeon's going to play great defense. I don't know what he's got offensively. It's heading the wrong direction. The rest of the lineup, I don't know what you're getting.
Maybe I'm wrong about the starting pitching being first. I always like to shore that up, but
Well, dude, we talked all last year about how, like, we like the Mets lineup. We almost thought there should be more in there. And, like, hey, Nimmo stats landed where Nimmo stats seemingly land every year.
Alonso's took a big step back last year.
Alonso's stats landed in a great spot last year that it's like, how are we replacing that? Again, could it be Tucker? Like, we haven't found the Tucker team, but then you're pretty lefty. I kind of like them and Bregman for a while now. Has this created the righty door for them? And then you could trade those young infielders to get the pitching. But, like, the Mets, at what point does Uncle...
You're going to trade a Beatty or a Vientos? Like, how much do they really... What are they going to bring back? They're not going to bring back what you need pitching-wise. Depth, I feel like you kind of have... You don't have great depth, but you have enough depth pitching-wise. This is very interesting for Stearns. They're gonna have to figure out this puzzle and do it quickly, like I said. The more and more I'm staring at this lineup, the more I'm like, okay, we have to make the move. And Bregman makes sense there. I don't think he makes them a better lineup than they were last year.
No. Like what Bregman brings is both sides of the baseball and, professional at bats that sometimes I don't think the stats fully represent it. But no, I mean, we're saying the same things here. Are they going to go nuts for Bichette? Like, dude, the market is going to kind of pop. And by the way, something that we've discussed on this program going back a couple years now, a lot of the guys that have done the 3-year, 2-year option contracts, Matt Chapman, Snell, Alonso, Belly is a big winner of this. He's another guy that the Mets are looking at. He's another guy that a lot of teams are looking at. That those opt-out contracts have kind of worked well for the players that, hey, you're going to get paid a good chunk of money in those years, and if you have one good season, you opt out and you have the free agency you want.
Belly and Bregman make this a formidable offense, okay? But, like, you should have just went out and got Pete. He's cheaper than both of those guys.
I really wonder between the people that are like Pete's not going to age well, which I'm just not discussing that because
I honestly do not believe that. He's just such a baseball guy and he just is a hitter.
I mean, I heard there's arguments in their stats that like power hitters are the ones that, well, speed leaves everyone. So like,
yes.
I don't know, go look at that. And then like you either hit or you don't. That like the fact that nobody brought it up with Schwarber, but they talk about it with Pete is just doesn't make sense in my brain. If you know more than me, comment below, knock yourself out. Trev, I mean, what you just mentioned is you're like, yeah, Belly and Bregman make this a solid lineup.
That's crazy.
Okay, that's going to sneak up to $400 million. Like, So I don't know. I wonder if the Mets, and guessing, because it says they didn't formally offer a contract, maybe they were ready to move on from this guy for
They
whatever
were
reasons.
laughing. David Stearns was laughing. So, yeah, we heard Pete's here. We know him. We don't, maybe we'll get a face-to-face. I don't like it, Coach. Sense of urgency for once.
And yeah,
Pete's bat speed is in a 91st percentile right now, by the way.
Could you have locked up Pete for 5 for 125 last winter? I think so.
Yes.
I think so. Hey, good for Pete. Good for Orioles fans who had kind of been down and out as the Toronto Blue Jays go on a run. It feels like Boston's back. AL East, Coach Trev. I know people don't like this, but like both New York teams are in a weird spot right now. That it's going to be very interesting to see how they pivot their offseason. And the Red Sox, man, there was a lot of rumors that Alonso, that could be his landing spot. There's a lot of teams that are just trying to get back to where they were last year, and where they were last year wasn't like the dream. Like Boston,
Yes, agreed.
Boston lost in a 3-game series to the Yankees. The Yankees got embarrassed by the Blue Jays. Like, I don't know, man. Anxious.
Got a lot of work to do, those Mets. They do. Check on Jolly.
Well, hopefully,
okay? Check on Jolly.
everyone check on your Mets fan / Jolly Olive. You got anything else, Coach?
I got to go do baseball today with Chris Rose and hear him whack out about this
Oh,
thing.
he's going to be so H'd up.
All I wanted to do was have lunch and, like, chill with my dog. Not going to happen today.
I need a salad so bad. Yeah, no, we went to a different bar last night. Basically, the whole Padres front office was there. I think I was invited to go on an international scouting trip. I need to look at the schedule. Did they all know Ryan Cohen? Obviously.
Oh, my. No, do not tell him that.
No, Ryan, knows that.
Oh,
Dude,
like, for real knows him.
yes.
Okay. That makes me feel better.
Yes. I work for the Padres, and every time I see Ali Marmol, he winks at me. So I might work for the Cardinals and the Padres.
Like a what do they call that? Double agent? I like that. For you.
My division picks come out next year. It's like I love the Padres and I love the Cardinals, baby. Winter
my
meetings
God. Was
are
AJ
weird.
Preller there?
I didn't see Preller, but
Okay.
the guys we were talking to are like his people.
Okay.
And now I'm his people. And you guys are our people. We can't thank you enough. If there's any big ones, I mean, this is the juice. This is the good stuff. Shout out to Rob Sirocco,
Yeah.
producing right off the plane. Trevor Plouffe had to eat his lunch quick.
Jesus. What a travesty. I had to whoop that thing down.
Dude, yeah. No free ads, but I guess it's not free. Fabletics sent me a bunch of clothes, and it was right before I was leaving. So I just
Gotta clean your spot before you leave. Coach.
I unpacked all of it.
I have people
So
clean it
there's
for me. Maids coming during